Chapter 2 A New World. While Arthur was gazing around the area and angrily cursing himself, he realized that he didn't specify what race he should be born into, so X just reincarnated him into an insect of some sort. He couldn't even walk properly. In fact, he had to crawl. Despite this, he was still quite fast for an insect. Not even a minute after he appeared, some sound rang in his head. Ting! Their stats and skills. When you leave this being, you will retain those stats and skills. You have gained a skill, language comprehension. This allows you to once you possess a being, comprehend and speak its language automatically. You've gained another skill, appraisal. This means you can appraise anything in your field of vision. Another skill, blessing of X. This allows for when you level up and gain experience for stats 25% faster than normal beings. You gained another skill, Swift. Because you are a parasite, your stats are lower than any other kind of being, but you gain plus 600% speed. You gained another skill, Orb of the Fallen Over Gods. This is locked until you meet the necessary requirements. And another skill, Orb of the Fallen Over Gods passive. You gain affinity with every element plus 65%. This can be raised up if you level up. Increase resistance to all elements plus 25%. You have gained a skill, Parasitic Use of Mana. Because you are a parasite, your use of mana is more efficient than any other. Any skill that uses mana will have a 15% mana reduction, and if you are possessing a being, that the mana reduction becomes 20%. Wow. Even though he thought X screwed him and made him an insect, he never thought of the possibility of being reincarnated as a parasite in a game-like world. He could guess it was a game-like world by the blue windows which he could see in his mind, or in his field of vision, if he willed it. It's really new to him, as he hadn't played any games in his previous life. Perhaps one or two when he was a teenager, but he did know the basics at least. Arthur was very surprised when he saw these skills. They seemed really overpowered, and normally if someone is supposedly reincarnated, they would get a blessing or a power, but not this many. He also wondered if he could see his health, and if it existed, because in games there's a health bar with a number on it, and if it reaches 0, you are dead. He pondered for some time before attempting to open his status by thinking various things. Window. Status. Open up. Open up. Status window. Finally, after some tries, he managed to achieve something as a large blue window appeared out of nowhere. Title, none. Name, Arthur. Race, parasite. Strength, 10. Agility, 10. Strength, 10. Intelligence, 10. Agility, 200. Wisdom, 15. Vitality, 5. Dexterity, 15. Health, 7. Health regen, 0.2 per second. Mana, 11. Mana regen, 0.4 per second. Stamina, 7. Stamina regen, 0.05 per second. Attack, 8. Defense, 4. Elemental resistances, Holy and Light is 25%. Fire is 25%. Darkness, Water, Wind, and Earth, all 25%. After seeing his stats, he felt they were pathetic. In fact, pathetic wouldn't even be an understatement. 7 points of health? Wouldn't he die just from a touch? His agility was higher, as expected, but when he tried dragging his body a bit earlier, he noticed that his speed was rather fast for a parasite that was smaller than a damn insect. Honestly, he felt depressed thinking of how weak and insignificant he was. After checking his status window once again, he started roaming in the area, searching for temporary shelter to last until he can adjust to his new body and environment. After some searching, he found a little hole in the ground. It was pitifully small, but to him it looked like a massive pitfall. Arthur jumped down, hoping for the best. Unfortunately, just as he landed, he was surrounded by some disgusting and ugly creatures. They were more or less double his size and looked a little similar to the ants of his previous world. However, these supposed ants were green in color and had small scales on their body, more like a mantis. Mutated child ant, level 1. Mutated child ant, level 1. Mutated adult ant, level 2. Mutated adult ant, level 3. Mutated child ant, level 2. He stood there dazed for a couple seconds and only snapped out of it when these rangs rushed at him while he threatened them with their claws. They were double his size and quite scary looking, so having one rush at you would obviously be scary. But even though Arthur was terrified, he didn't dare stay put and accept what was coming at him without even trying to retaliate. He didn't even know if they were going to hurt him, eat him, or whatever. He didn't have time to think about such a thing in such a dire situation. He made use of his high agility and dashed to the left. Heck, he didn't even have legs, so all he could do was crawl, and poof, in mid-dash he unconsciously struck a mutated adult ant that was in the way. The result was rather unexpected, as he expected himself to be cut in 2 pieces, but that wasn't the case at all. He underestimated his speed and managed to pass straight through the ant, resulting in a bloody hole in its chest. The ant fell soundlessly to the ground, while green blood flowed from its wound. Arthur, not knowing what to do, concentrated on the dead body's ant and dove into it. Everything went dark for a second before he opened his eyes, hearing the sound of notifications. You have successfully possessed an adult ant. You've gained a new skill, Dig, level 6. Gained a new skill, Ant Language. Gained a new skill, Dive, level 2. And Headbutt, level 4. Due to your possession of an adult ant, your stats have increased. Please check your status window for more details. Arthur quickly got used up using his new body. He still wasn't sure what just happened until he read the notification and noticed his increased height. There was a gaping wound in his chest, but his health didn't decrease, nor did he feel any pain. He wasn't sure why, but the absence of pain was probably something to do with him. Perhaps a wound inflicted by himself wasn't recognized by the game-like system. Surprisingly, all the other ants seemed briefly startled as the enemy disappeared from their sight. A few seconds later, with no appearance of the small enemy, they dispersed and went on their own way. After Arthur possessed the ant, he tried to sneak up and find a safe place, but it was a huge labyrinth. It took him 2 whole hours to find a place relatively quiet, remote, and safe with no ants nearby. He rested for the night, and when he woke up, he decided to stroll around the labyrinth, thinking, maybe I should try to kill some of these ants to gain some levels and power up. He wanted to leave this damn place as soon as he could. Moreover, since his stats has increased, he should at least be able to match them in a fight and probably kill a few of them. After all, being a parasite, he was far more agile than them. After searching for some time, he found some mutant ant children level 2, approached it from behind and used Dive on it. He thought it would put up little resistance, but it was crushed into the wall and turned into a mass of flesh and broken scales, with green blood dyeing the ground. As soon as it stopped twitching and died, he got notifications that he'd gained several levels. Life sure is funny. A while back he was tortured, and now he is struggling to kill an ant. Although, he didn't start off great. Arthur was still feeling relieved. There was no better thing than being free, doing what he wants, and going where he wishes. However, that does not mean he has forgotten what has been done to him.